Hey there, viewers of the Dodger Game channel and the Mormon Truth Videos channel. This is going to be a quick video, one of a series that I'm going to start doing to give quick introductions to various pages and subjects found on my website, Mormon Truth Videos Gospel Topics Hub. It's at .weebly.com. So this one's going to be introducing a particular video and subject found on the Cult Mind Control in the Kingdoms of Satan and Yahweh page, and it's going to be geared towards seminary students seeing this as a notification on their phones when they're at seminary. Okay, Mormon youth subjected to cult mind control in LDS seminaries. And so that's a video that I want to introduce to everyone who's in seminary or a parent of someone in seminary, knows someone, cares about them, because the mind control that's used is advanced, and it's something you need to know about. So here we are, and you'll have to watch this video on your own because it's not a super short one, but it is very interesting. And I remember the first time I walked into the chapel one day and had my eyes opened, I guess, and I said, why is Jesus using mind control in the one true church? Because I knew a fair amount about mind control techniques, and I knew something of NLP and hypnotic language and the types of techniques that you see some of the brethren using, some that I noticed Gordon B. Hinckley using, which I've kind of broken down in some videos, like on the illuminated Freemasonry and so forth. And I want to introduce Mormon youth to the knowledge that we have the Mormon Truth Videos Gospel Topics Hub here as a great resource, and it's going to be a greater resource. I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it because that's the purpose of this, is to bring together these hundreds of videos I've done in the last year and a quarter or so, which cover the subject matter of Mormonism in a truthful and often documented manner, so that people can find out the truth about LDS church history, and also observe the deception that's used on LDS.org in the gospel topics essays especially. And you know what? I just have a lot of work to do on certain of the gospel topics essays, because I did a lot on the DNA and also the race and priesthood. So here we are on LDS.org. Just in case you're LDS and you don't know about the gospel topics essays, or hadn't really noticed the true nature of them, we're on the page here, Gospel Topics Essays. If you can't find it, you go down to the bottom of any web page and find the sitemap. So through the sitemap, you'll find it. All right, so not going to go into the whole thing here, but it tells us that they gathered all this information from all these other websites that can be very undependable, they say, and so you need to stay on LDS.org is what they're telling you, because they don't want you to look anywhere else, which is typical mind control. The JWs do it, Scientology does it, SDA does it. They all do it because you have to protect your flock from actually seeing factual evidence that you've been lying to them. So after you get past the things like, are Mormons Christians, and becoming like God, you get to the reason these things are here instead of those decoys. You've got the Book of Mormon and DNA studies, Book of Mormon translation, first vision accounts, like all 9 of them. Well, I think they show like 4 of them. They mention that there are 9. And Joseph Smith's teachings about priesthood, and Peace and Violence, that's about the Danites, basically plural marriage, trying to make up excuses why Joseph Smith was involved with all these teenage girls and other dudes' wives. And of course they'd try to avoid all those things and lead us in another direction using obfuscation techniques. And all these, race and priesthood, just a huge obfuscation attempt during race and priesthood. They blame, they say, oh, Brigham Young was basically, influenced by culture to be racist, and ignore the fact that Joseph Smith, of course, wrote the Book of Abraham, which says that the Canaanites can't have the priesthood. Moses chapter 7 clearly identifies the fact that the Canaanites got turned black so that everyone could despise them. So it's LDS scripture, but of course they they choose to ignore it in the essays that they pretended were going to be fair and balanced, and are not essays. They're apologetic articles. So at any rate, there it is, gospel topics, essays, and we're going to have more and more on that. I did put up a page that features several videos in it, but I'm going to do a lot more on the gospel topics, essays, and go through each one of these important essays, because they each one of the ones that are not the decoys. So Book of Mormon translation, I've obviously gone through that subject, but not necessarily that essay. Same thing here. I've intermingled the thing on, and when we Joseph Smith coming up with this ridiculous first vision story shortly before he died, that is now like the centerpiece of how the so-called gospel and church got restored, and actually has nothing to do with it when you read church history. Yeah. So check out these subjects on Mormon Truth videos, Gospel Topics Hub. You're just going to have all kinds of video-based material along with some written material in chapter form. And I'm going to go ahead and just go to the homepage real quick here and say, check this stuff out when you've got some time, guys. Those of you who are not familiar, or if you are familiar, because I'm trying to create like the best resource here. I've got the most video material really on the subjects of Mormonism now in the world after just over a year. Only John DeLynne's got more airtime and video, and it's mostly stories, which are very good and talk a lot about Mormonism. But this is going subject by subject. So here's the homepage, and the homepage has got its own videos. It's got all kinds of unveiling the mystery of true Mormon history and that sort of a thing, videos. But it's also got the subjects with hyperlinks on the chapters that have been completed. So one on LDS apologetics, we believe in being honest except about our church history, restoring a stairway to heaven, Israel's God calls the magician's apprentice, Joseph Smith's 1823 first vision, the evolving theology of Mormonism from the unchanging eternal gods. By their works ye shall know them, examining LDS scriptures, examining the Book of Mormon and the Book of Abraham. Okay, only the ones that are lighter colored are done because they're hyperlinked. From ancient mystery schools through Templars and Masonry to Danites and Luciferian endowments. Then when we're just looking at cult mind control and the kingdoms of Satan and Yahweh, all along the watchtower from Zion to Xenu, that's part of the mind control thing. Coercive persuasion, that's just another hyperlink to the same thing. Women, whiskey, and wine, and a few dozen more women. That's about the womanizing and that they try to call plural marriage, including they don't talk about the spiritual wife system with the hundreds of women enslaved by Joseph Smith in Nauvoo. Secret combinations in LDS scripture and modern urban legend status of the Illuminati and the Danites through MK techniques. So, yeah, we know what that one's about too. Basically, all these religions are led by occultists, usually Freemasons. Whether it's the J-Dubs, SDA, Scientology, you look, SDA, okay, they are led by occultists, but the original, was, Ellen Gould White was an occultist. Obviously, she was not a Freemason, but she was a theosophist. And, they followed the Lucifer Trust people. Helena Blavatsky. New name Nephi challenge for Mormon Truth and Fast and Testimony meetings. We know what that one's about. And so we need to get your videos up there of you testifying in testimony meeting of what the truth is about this church. And like I said, you can see what I did that day, and I talked about the Gospel Topics essays, and threw some truth out there, and it was all referenced off LDS.org, so kind of hard for the bishop to shut down the microphone, because it wouldn't have looked too good for him. So you just got to be careful how you say things. Don't go up there and start talking about Joseph Smith having sex with the maid Fanny Alger in the barn or something. That might get your mic shut off in a hurry. But reference things that are on LDS.org that show the contradiction in here. Hey, Dodger Game out. Have a great day. Check out check it all out here, and you'll wind up getting on the Dodger Game channel, or getting all those videos, and some on Mormon Truth also.